I am the chairman of that stream, and I have now the honor to announce myself because I'm the next speaker. So welcome that you're here. After lunch, it's always difficult, I know. Brain is still tired, but I hope that I can give you some fresh input, and maybe then it is not so hard. I will talk a little bit about digital innovation in retail. So that you know who I am. I spent my entire life in the retail business. The last 10 or 11 years, I have been the general director of Primark in Germany and Austria and built it up from the scratch. And I've done similar in the 80s with H&M. So when H&M was coming over from Sweden, I joined it, and then I've been managing director for H&M for the first 10 years. So, but I'm not doing this anymore. Today I spent my time hosting a podcast about innovation in retail under the title of Retail Talker. That's why you see that silly name there, which is not English correct, but it works. And I'm advising companies from time to time, and in this case here, I'm retail advisor for Objectivity, which is an IT solution company. I come to this a little bit later, what we are doing here. I want to talk a little bit about change of customer behavior, some outcome of what should you do as a solution, and in between some cases that I will describe. Not so much from a technical point of view. You know, I'm a retailer. I understand customers, so I will try to describe a little bit from the side of a customer and a retailer more than a technical expert. The retail strategies, well, customer behavior has changed in the last 2 years more than in the last 20 years. A lot of things have come together. First of all, online growth was already there before COVID started, but COVID has given it an extra boost. Then we have, of course, everything that was coming afterwards, the war in the Ukraine, the energy costs, inflation. All this is a heavy burden for the retail. I would call the retail is a burning platform. If you're not moving forwards, you will burn your feet and you will not survive. But luckily, a lot of retailers doing something. If this is enough, I sometimes have my doubts if it is quick enough, but things are moving forward. And through my podcast, I have two different formats, and I'm reporting and I'm reading balance sheet even from companies, what they have done, just to try to understand what really is positive outcome, what is only a small nice idea, what has the chance to become bigger. To start with, so some generic points that I have watched is supermarkets had a very good business. They were open through COVID-19 until the other stores could open. They were the only stores where you could go. And if you look to the results of Edeka and Rewe, the two biggest German supermarket chains, they were bigger than ever before. And the profit of those two companies is higher than the entire fashion market in Germany. The profit only. So that gives you an idea how that has been growing, but they used it for good. So there is a lot of investment into the stores looking nicer, a lot of ideas, new ideas. They are trying out a lot of innovation. Then luxury brands, we heard this earlier in one of the presentations, they have come back to their old strength, investing in creativity, great architecture, marketing corporations. If I don't have pictures now because that is too much for today, but if you see what they have done worldwide, this is really impressive. This is outstanding. There was a time in the fashion business when the luxury brands were hunted by, let's say, the Zara's, H&M and Primarks who copied them, but I think now they have gone an extra mile and they are much better now than they have ever been before, and they are making a lot of money as well. Then I can say, if a company really dares to make the step shifting store sales into online sales, it will pay off sales-wise. Just to have a look at Douglas, that's the biggest perfumery group in Europe. They are closing 500 of their 2,500 stores, and take 1 million, for example, as average sale of such a store. So they cut off 500 million sales. It's a lot of money, but they have the online growth is much bigger than what they are cutting off. Now, the balance sheet looks difficult because closing stores, sending people home, product shifting around, the investment into online marketing and the entire system is huge, but long term it is the right decision. And Douglas is one of the only retailers that have taken the decision, and I find this a very important thing. They have only one system, and that system comes from online. And every store that wants to see for the customers good, where's the product, what can I buy, how can I do it, where can I find it, is the same system as the online department is using. So most of the other retailers, they have their offline system for the stores and they have an online system. And sometimes they don't know where's the stock. Yeah. Now, Douglas has turned it around completely, huge investment. But if you go into the store and you ask, I would like to buy this and this, they can tell you, well, I'd have it, yes or no. My neighbor's store has it, yes or no. We have it in the depot. I can send it home. I can send it into the store. They can do everything that the customer wants. So, and if I see the sales and I see the profit who is growing now, it definitely pays off. Same as, by the way, with Gap. Gap is maybe you know this from your trips in the US, a fashion company. They were running in trouble, but they have made the online shift as well, and it pays off as well in their figures. A lot of small ideas that you can see in the market to try out where can we go. A lot of little puzzle that you can put together to a big picture. Important thing, customers very slowly, but sustainable, have been used to use digital devices or systems. I mean, paying by credit card in Germany is far behind all the other European and international companies. Now, this has come now much stronger in the COVID-19 time because everyone was asked, please, can you pay with your card instead of cash? So suddenly it works. And now the move goes from the card onto your phone and on your watch if you have it. It is very slowly, but it moves forward. And if you now ask customers that want to pay with their credit card at the bakery and they can't, they suddenly say, well, why? Because it has become normal for them. And there are other small little things, the Luca app and others that people have used. So now they start to understand the advantage of digital processing, accept it. It is still slow, but it happens. So, and personalization is one of the big things as well, so that the customer really feels, okay, they make this for me and they help to do what is absolutely right for my person. Now, out of this, I have taken 3 points out, which I find the most important ones. So the first one, everything on the smartphone. I will explain all in detail. Think green. I mean, Germany has a green government. We have the Friday for Future movement of young people. We have a big movement into everything has to be sustainable and has to be good for the pollution and for the environment, and that will not turn back completely. Yeah. Now through the energy crisis that we have, some things will be accepted again, but in general, I would say the Friday for Future people that are now 15 to 18 years old, in 20 years, they will be the deciders of what's going to happen in future. And they will do this or this for companies. If they have seen over the last, from now on starting, that companies have not shifted into sustainable thinking or still doing the wrong things, they will take the decision to say, well, let's forbid company XYZ, because 20 years they haven't done nothing. That's their thinking. Yeah. So that's why every retailer has to do the right thing now, and many have already started. And the last thing is know your customer. That's all about data, and we have heard a lot about this already today. Yeah, smartphone. I mean, what is your smartphone? It is the everything. Huh? It is not only a telephone, it's your camera, it is your wallet, it is your map, it is your it's your bank account, it is it's your diary, it is your you're looking up something. There are so many applications that you can do with your app with your smartphone, and I'm sure there will be more. And I strongly believe that everything will go from web to app, means the desktop computers will have less of a meaning for the people that are outside. Same with tablets. That's good for home, but not for when you are outside. Watch the people when you sit in trains, in trams, outside on the streets. Everyone is using his mobile phone, and they try to do everything with their mobile phone. Websites, shopping, whatever is possible. I'm happy because, you know, as a man, you don't have a handbag. So all the things that you need, your camera and so on, the women can do this in a handbag. I can do this in my pocket. And that's it. And some applications, even on my watch, for payment, even my bakery now shop where I'm after jogging and running, I can pay now. He's always laughing. Is it really working? I said, yes, look in your account. It is working. So the mobile phone is the everything. And I see two different sides. So the customers will use this for check-in, check-out when that will be necessary again. Find your product, book a fitting room, book a retail consultant, self-scanning, click and collect, information about the product. Very important for future body scanning to find the right size. For the employees, staff planning will be on your smartphone. That's easy to look up. When do I have to work? Payslip, or I heard now intelligence on your knowledge data warehouse. I heard earlier from StarMind. Communication internal, communication external, transparency of stock. Order management system, logistic, customizing, taking in the goods. Objectivity recently has programmed a little application to take in goods and into the system, and people do this with their private or with the smartphone they are given by their employer. Payment on the floor, that's what Apple is doing. And there is a lot more that you can already see and try it out. Maybe not every small idea will survive, you will see, but I'm absolutely sure that midterm, everything will take place on the smartphone. I want to use some small, only some, not the entire list here. in the let's say process of automation and letting the customers do the work for the retailer. You see, I want to point out Theo, which is a concept from Teegut, a German supermarket chain from the southeast, Fulda. They are located. They've opened a couple of stores, 950 articles on 50 square meter. They have used a very simple technique. Once you have signed in, you can use your credit card, you can use your phone. You have to scan the products yourself, and you have to pay them by a machine yourself. So scan, and it's not, let's say, the other one that I will come through in a minute. So, but it works. It is 24/7. There is staff at certain times to fill up the stock. But it is nice looking. It's in the middle, it's in the neighborhood. It's not good for the big sales that you need to do at the weekends, but if you need something for just now, and instead of calling gorillas, that is a solution. Or nearby hospitals, universities, and so on. Hoodie is going the step further on. That is a new thing. Hoodie is not a sweater with a hood. A hoodie is because of the neighborhood. They have just opened just around the corner where I live. Owner and the man behind is a former general director of Real supermarket chain, who's moving this forward. They have a fully automated system, similar like the Amazon. So you need to have an app, and your app need your credit card information, your verification about where you live, and your age, but not the name. An email address. So once this is there, you go in. There is a little barrier that opens when you scan it. You go into the store. You pick everything you have seen. Put this into your own bag, and you go out. No self-scanning, no payment process in the store. It works very good. Cameras. The shelves have some technical systems. So that is the next step. Now that was the first store. You never know, will they survive? Will they disappear? I just heard that Amazon Go is probably giving up their stores and integrate them into something different. But definitely Theo is working, and I think that will part of what will come in future, that customers doing what normally retailers have done before. From the fashion part, I would like to point out Bonprix. Bonprix is one of the biggest online fashion companies in Europe. They are belonging to the Otto Group, so quite big, over 1.5 billion euros turnover. They had stores in the past, closed them all down, and now 2 years ago, with the beginning of COVID-19, or 2.5 years, they opened a store in Hamburg. Best location, Mönckebergstraße, if anyone is familiar with the name of big streets. And this gives an outlook how the future of a fashion store might look. Again, they're using, what they would like to have is that the customers that already have an online account use the app on their smartphone to identify when they enter the store. If you're not a Bonprix customer yet, then you can take one of their smartphones which work like the same way. Then you come into the store, and actually there's only one floor where you see stock. Every piece of garment is there only one time, in one size and one color. But it is arranged and gives inspiration. So it's not like all these shirts on one side, all the trousers here, and all the denim jeans there. It's more like mix and match and more inspiration. Not very much stock on the shop floor. Every piece of stock has a ticket. that you can scan with your application, with your smartphone, and that gives you the background information of in which sizes available, in which colors available. If you decide, oh, I would like to try this on, you put this in your cart, in your cart, yeah? Warenkorb. And then if you have seen enough and you want to go and see this and want to try this on, you book a fitting room, and it's very simple. And then the system tells you, okay, Anna, please go down to the lower floor. There is a coffee shop and there's a seating area. Have a place. Wolfgang is in the stockroom and he's picking up your things. And when he's ready, he will give you a note. Yeah? So that takes 3 to 5 minutes, depending how many pieces they have. Then Wolfgang, the guy from the stockroom, puts everything into the fitting room from the back side. So behind the mirror is a door where you can put it, and then into the fitting room. And then you get the notice, okay, please, your fitting room is ready. And you go into your fitting room, and you can try everything on. You have an intelligent mirror that communicates with you, and you have your smartphone, of course. So you say, well, I need another size. You order another size, and Wolfgang's going to the stockroom and get the other size, the next size. Or they make say, well, many people that have tried this on in this color have tried on this one as well. So that is similar like the Amazon intelligence. And so you get your stock. It works very well. It's a nice big fitting room. It's nothing with the small ones that you have seen before. And if you want to, you can take your things and finish your shopping in the fitting room and go out. Now, many customers still think, I don't know if I should leave it now. I better go out and do it the official way of what is official. Let's say the old way. So there is a counter in the ground floor in front of the fitting rooms where you can do the normal payment by card again. But you can make a decision again. I want to get it sent home. I want to take it now. I want to pick it up in 2 hours because I'm running around in the city, and. So the customer decides what they want to do, and the system reacts upon this. It's working. It's only ladies where. Don't ask me what I did in the fitting room, but but it is working perfectly. I mean, there is a big company behind it. They have enough intelligence, and again, it's all based on the stock that the company has in one system. And you see only a small variety on the shop floor, but you see 10 times more which they have online. So that always gives you the opportunity to say, well, this t-shirt is nice too. Yeah, well, we don't have it here. Then you can get it at home. Yeah. So they are not sure if they should roll this out or if they just should sell the system to other stores of the Otto Group. It's there is no decision yet, but it is working. I have seen this. So this is something I would like to say, and even the big ones like Zara, Decathlon, they are starting always more with self-scanning. Decathlon has a great system. You know, every retailer who sells something needs to fill up. So what do you fill up? You fill up what you have seen in your till. That's one opportunity. That's one possibility. Or they let cameras go through the stores after the store is closed. They scan the entire store, and they scan not by making photos. It's more like scanning the codes. So they know exactly what is where in the store overnight, and then they get the new stuff early in the morning, fill it up, put it inside. Great system to fill up, because that's a mass retailer. That is certainly different if you sell only a coat for €3,000. That's easy to fill it up, but in this case, a different one. Yeah. So just to give you some ideas of, there is a lot more, but that is already working. So, and Objectivity has made a very simple application, which is, I don't want to say outdated, but since Corona and is not so important well anymore, or for the moment, I should say. You always have to be cautious what's going to be the future. But they have developed a system which they called really simple queuing, and that it is for retail and hospitality. And in this case, this is a city in the UK, and they want to manage the visit of all stores, the number of people that are in that district, in that shopping district. And probably not as important today as it was at this time. But why I'm telling this is sometimes there are situations where you need a quick solution, like COVID-19 is coming up and you suddenly have to do things differently. Then you're looking for a partner who's able to deliver quickly, reasonable prices and good quality. Customers had to learn to live with this, and they did. So in the entire city, there is more a bigger how do you say this? They accept digital devices more than in other British cities. The retailer themselves, they have learned as well that small little digital steps are helpful, because many of retailers are still, well, why? The old life is coming back. No, it's not coming back. But now they thought, okay, it is working and it helps me to move forward. And in this case, Objectivity has developed a cloud-based web application with no need for installation. That was very good. Has been made with Mendix, and Mendix is a good platform even for security reasons. So that was very helpful. So the other point, the next point is about sustainability. I often hear and heard that, well, this is not so important, and why, and people are thinking too much about this, and why are we doing this? But to be very honest, I would say if a company does not have a concept, an idea, a philosophy, how they want to handle sustainability, the impact on the environment, and just try to move forward without, the customers will not accept this. If the other way around, if customers are asking, if you ask customers, would you pay more and would you only go through this and that shop, that is very hard to measure. But it is very clear that if companies are not having the right idea and mindset about what they want to do in the future, these companies will not be your number one on your shopping list. That is clearly to say. And I can tell you, in my time at Primark, I had over 150 interviews with politicians, journalists, all kinds of people who said, well, look, this company is doing something. We don't know if this is right. And I had to explain myself. I never have done this before, because I've been managing director of retail companies. That's my job. But suddenly I was standing there and had to explain myself. And I thought, oh my God, why do I have to excuse? We're doing more in Primark than many others, but yeah. So sustainability has been discussed, and I can only say customers expect companies to adopt to more sustainable practices, and they want to understand what is the agenda, And if you go with some figures just to convince those who think, well, maybe it is not so important, 64% of consumers list recycling and reuse as their top 3 concerns. 64% rank reducing single-use plastic on the same level, and 62% tackling air pollution as an important issue. So that is coming from figures. More than 40% of consumers surveyed in the US, more than 50% in Europe, Germany is even higher, and almost 70% in China, which I find surprising, say they want to have more information about how their clothes were made and what was the impact upon the environment, which is technically easy to do. 48% of consumers say they would be more likely to buy a product if the label states that they have an impact on the environment. So that's half of the consumers. 52% of Generation Y, this is the Friday for Future generation, or a little bit older, state that they would look for background information about the product before buying. And almost a third of the customers, they say they would avoid certain brands or products because they have ethically or sustainable concerns. Yeah, and I can underwrite this, that customers behave like this. Yeah, so if you don't have it, you get punished. If you have it, it is taken as, well, yes, that's right. I simply accept that this is happening. And 85% of consumers say they have changed their purchasing behavior towards sustainability in the last 5 years. So there is more obvious that they want to do the right things. So I don't have a special case now here for sustainability, but through my podcast I always raise this question: what are you doing as a company? And of course, sometimes there is kind of a, how do you say that? Lippenbekenntnis in English is lip. Sorry. Yeah. Well. Customers have a very good feeling, therefore, if a company really means it honest or if this is a marketing idea. Yeah, and I can only say this is something that is top priority for top level management, and they have to give a very, very clear direction where to go to and what to do. Yeah, you can't do everything on. Customers accept that you don't fulfill 100% in 2 years. It's impossible. They know this, but they want to see that there is an agenda. And yeah. So the other thing, the third point is there was already a lot of in presentations about data. I don't want to repeat everything, but we heard this morning you were kind of almost shocked that retailers are having no information about what they are doing. This is right. This is blind flight, pure. Yeah, was always gut feeling from the buyer and from the marketing guru. Oh, we should do this and this and this because I believe in it. Oh no, they have one. Yeah. Oh yeah. They no, they have one. A very long time developed in the 80s, and they have a good one. Yeah, definitely. It has been sold at a certain time by their IT supporter because they forgot to sign a contract. But that's a different story. So, and what I would like to say is, you have to take all data you could get. So track and monitor and analyze store activities. How many people are coming into the store? Where do they move? Where's your dead corner? Where's your most trafficked corner? Where do they come from? Ideally, again, give them an app. Ask them to identify whenever they come into the store. Use cameras, smartphones of the customers, whatever is possible. Sensors, smart shelves, robots, all kind of information. You reduce. So the result of this is reduce mistakes in stock planning, buying and returns. That's a lot of money. You wouldn't believe in the fashion business, for example. I mean, if you have bananas and the bananas are brown, that's very easy what you do. You throw them away and you write them off. In fashion, again, so there is a figure that says, okay, this product is now longer than 8 weeks in our company, not selling. We still have 80% of the entire stock. So let's cut off, give it a 30% reduction. And you can imagine a big retailer that is buying, let's say, 100,000 t-shirts for 10 euro and cutting off 30% of the sales volume. This is a hell lot of money. And I know from my time, if I want to invest something, yeah, and I want to spend 20,000 euro for this little idea, I had to discuss with everyone, with the money givers, with the banks, and is this really necessary, you know? And a buyer comes, doesn't say, poof, 20,000 off, just one thing. There is so much money that is lost and not at the right place. So there is a huge opportunity to make this better than it is today. Automate inventory planning, have the right product at the right time and in the right amount, and have full transparency for online and offline stock. So really think from the customer, think from online, because the online people have a different way of thinking than the brick and mortar people, I must say, and the online is more helpful. At the very end, the customer is not buying because it is online or offline. The customer is buying because it is the right product or not, but he wants to have it as comfortable as possible. And Amazon has set the standards about delivery and services. You can think about Amazon whatever you want to, but what they promise, they keep normally. They deliver, they return, you get a good description, they keep their partners clean if anyone is making mistakes or not delivering or prices are going through the roof. So Amazon is really the standard. And if you want to become an online seller or even in brick and mortar retail and you say, well, sorry, I'm not accepting credit cards. This is so expensive. That cost me 0.75% of my sales. Sorry. Is there a question why you're flying out of the curve? No. And always think, if Amazon would do the same as a brick and mortar retail is handling, they would never be here in Germany. And they would disappear in 1 or 2 years if they would suddenly act like many retailers are acting today. So I'm very hard with this, I know, but it is, I love the retail. I think it is worth it. It stays where it is. There is more in it. And I can only say, well, let's do more and move it forward. And some figures here again. So 85% of retail companies surveyed by IBM plan to introduce smart automation tools into their business. More than 50% of retail jobs could be automated. If you think, I didn't say this at the beginning. It was on the chart. As it looks right now, 50% of the former retail sales will move to online. In an ideal world, it will be kept in the company. But suddenly, if you move online, you have different competitors, so you might lose. But if you have only 50% of your sales in your stores, what does that mean? Your entire cost structure doesn't suit anymore. The rent is too high, the staff costs are too high, the sales space is too big, and the store do not make profit anymore. So, which means you need to do something already to bring this into the right proportion, or you must have an idea how you want to use your stores. So that is a big challenge for retailers, and cost-wise as well, because if you close a store, as I said before about Douglas, your balance sheet will have a big thing on one side of the balance sheet, and you have to absorb this. And now if you say another 50% might be lost, people might be lost by automation, there will be less people in the store. Luckily, in the moment, retail is missing a lot of people. I don't know where they have gone to, but that is helpful, because I was always worried that everyone is losing his job and sitting at home. It's not good for our economy. Yeah, and the model of being a salesperson in the store will completely change in future. Will be more tech orientated and product orientated than ever before. That's my belief. So, and then I have here, e-commerce helps systems have to reduce the return rate, which is very high indeed. And then Excel is still the most common tool for assortment management and used by over 30% of the retailer. Yeah, I know. And and 71% of retailers responding to McKinsey's supply chain survey cite the lack of digital tools to support procurement processes. So they simply do not know enough. It's always the same, yeah? Retail needs data to make better decisions, and that gives a lot of room. The last one was even AI will reduce assortments by 30%. Less but better. Now, just a word about Objectivity. Objectivity is a British company, over 30 years old. It has been serving a company that I've been working for the last 10 years. That's where the connection comes from, and has done a lot of things: in-store reporting system, data warehouses, and other helpful applications. And meanwhile, Objectivity has experience over 30 years in retail business, 7 offices and 900 people. Of those, most of them are sitting in Poland and now Mauritius for the programming. And but recently this week there was a note coming out that Objectivity has received an award from Rolls-Royce Suppliers Gold Standard because of good quality, low prices, and so that's what I wanted to say. Again, I love the retail. I think there is a need for the customers would be not happy if it disappears. I know people are saying, well, this will disappear. No, it will not disappear. It will survive, I'm absolutely sure, but it will look different. It must look different than it was in the past. And that needs digitalization full scope. Now, the question is very often I'm getting, why do retailers not invest? Well, that is partly very simple. I could read a list of why not, but the main is they have made bad experience in the past. They have only used single systems, and every time when data flows, it was very difficult to put this newly together. No one wants to buy a new one. Retail in Germany is not making a lot of money. It's different to the UK. So the amount of profit that you have doesn't allow you to make big investments. So that's why you are super cautious. And I can only say, if you want to work with retailers, speak their language and explain how to eat an elephant. And you know how to eat an elephant, very easy. Cut it in small slices and eat piece by piece by piece until it is gone. So good luck with this. Thank you.